You are born in Woking, England, which is the single most British sentence ever written. In a factory so clean that the engineers wear surgical gloves and the floor is whiter than most people's teeth. You are not assembled. You are composed, like a symphony or a very expensive sandwich. At your heart sits a carbon fiber tub, so advanced it was originally developed for Formula One, wrapped around a twin turbocharged V8 that produces a number of horsepower best described as legally concerning. You are a McLAREN. You are, by almost every measurable engineering metric, one of the finest driving machines humanity has ever produced. You will spend a heartbreaking percentage of your life on the back of a flatbed truck, but we'll get to that. Let's enjoy the factory while it lasts, because here's the cruel joke encoded into your very DNA: you are too good. Your makers were so obsessed with perfection that they engineered you right past reliable and out the other side into temperamental genius. You are not a car. You are a violinist who only performs when the humidity is exactly right and refuses to leave the dressing room otherwise. Your owner doesn't know this yet. Right now, he's at the dealership, signing papers, grinning, absolutely certain he just bought the smartest exotic on the market, the one that laps tracks faster than cars costing twice as much. And he's right. He did. Nobody is going to tell him about the dashboard. The dashboard is a surprise. The dashboard is always a surprise. Delivery day, he pulls you out of the showroom and the doors open upward. Dihedral doors, the ones that make every single bystander within 100 meters forget what they were doing. A man drops his groceries. A child points so hard he nearly dislocates a shoulder. Your owner steps out like a god descending from Olympus, except Olympus has a service plan. For one glorious week, life is perfect. You start every time. You sound like the apocalypse wearing a tailored suit. Your owner has never been happier, which, if he understood foreshadowing, would terrify him. Because cars like you don't do happy, you do happy, until week 2. He goes to show you off, and you decide, for reasons known only to your onboard computer and possibly God, that today is the day you display a warning light, not a dramatic one. Just a quiet little amber symbol that no human being can identify on sight, accompanied by a message like suspension fault or transmission C dealer, which is your polite way of saying, we're not going anywhere today, and also possibly this month. Your owner stares at it. He taps the screen, the universal human gesture for please be a glitch. It is not a glitch. You have hydraulic suspension of staggering sophistication, and sophistication, it turns out, is just a fancy word for more things that can break. So he calls the dealership, and here he learns the first law of McLAREN ownership. You do not have a mechanic. You have a relationship, and like all relationships, it is long distance, emotionally draining, and somehow always costs more than expected. The nearest McLAREN service center is not nearby. It never is. So a flatbed is dispatched, and you experience the single most common activity of your entire existence: being winched backwards onto a truck in full view of the public, like a beautiful racehorse being escorted out of the casino. The same crowd that gasped at your doors last week now watches you get towed, and somewhere in that crowd, quietly, a Honda Civic feels fantastic about itself. Now, the costs, and here's where it gets genuinely poetic. Your carbon fiber tub, the heart of your greatness, is essentially indestructible in a crash, which sounds wonderful until you learn the flip side. If it ever is damaged, it's frequently not repairable at all. And not repairable on a structural component means the insurance company quietly writes the whole car off. You're either invincible or totaled, with very little in between, like a video game character with one health bar and no checkpoints. Your carbon ceramic brakes are mechanical art, and a full set can run in the realm of several $1,000s per corner. So the act of slowing down costs more than most people's cars. Even your routine maintenance arrives with numbers that make grown men sit down. And the warning lights, the warning lights, have achieved such legendary status that owners have formed entire online support groups, which function less like car forums and more like group therapy, where people post photos of their dashboards the way others post x-rays. But here's the part that twists the knife, the thing that makes your existence a genuine tragedy rather than just an expensive comedy. You're worth it on the road. When you work, when the humidity is right and the planets align and the dashboard decides to be merciful, you are sublime. You outhandle cars that cost millions. You make your owner feel like a racing driver, like the smartest man who ever bought a car. He forgives you instantly every time, the way people forgive someone devastatingly charming who keeps borrowing money. That's the trap. You're not bad enough to leave. You're just unreliable enough to suffer over. A genuinely terrible car would be easy. He'd sell it and move on. But you? You break his heart on Tuesday and steal it back on Saturday. He's not an owner. He's an enabler, so he adapts the way they all do. He stops trusting you for anything important. He buys a second, boring car for actually getting places. A car that starts when you turn the key, like some kind of magic. And you, the masterpiece, the Formula One derived dream machine, become the car he takes out only when the weather's perfect, the route is short, and a flatbed could theoretically reach him within the hour. You've gone from supercar to emotionally high-maintenance weekend hobby. You sit under a cover in the garage, magnificent and untrusted, like a sword too valuable to actually use, listening to the boring car leave every morning to live the life you were built for. And here's the twist that reframes the whole sorry affair. You assume your owner is the victim, the man hemorrhaging money into a car that fights him. But look closer. McLAREN, the company, has spent years in a documented financial struggle, posting losses, restructuring, selling off assets, fighting to stay alive while building some of the greatest cars on Earth and somehow bleeding money the entire time. The cars are magnificent. The repair bills are brutal. The company makes a masterpiece and loses a fortune. The owner buys a masterpiece and loses a fortune. Everyone in this story is simultaneously holding something brilliant and watching their bank account cry. You're not a car. You're a $400,000 lesson in how genius and financial ruin are, more often than anyone admits, the exact same thing wearing dihedral doors. And somewhere right now, in a showroom whiter than heaven, a brand new owner is signing the papers, grinning, certain he's the one who got the smart one. He has not met the dashboard yet. Give him a week. But before you feel too sorry for him, at least someone wanted you. At least you were too brilliant to abandon. Somewhere out there sits a supercar that nobody loved at all. Dusty, deflated, rotting in a parking garage in a foreign country, left behind by an owner who simply vanished. No flatbed is coming for that one. That's a different kind of sad entirely. And trust me, then it's so much worse than yours.